What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So we're jumping back in with some Marvel Future Fight content and looking at sneak peek number 5 for the month of February. Basically what we're getting is Void Knight Surfer. A little confused. Marvel Future Fight devs, you guys are all over the place with your consistency and, you know, continuity of things, but let's take a look at this. Okay, guys, so let's jump in. So I think we all knew we were going to get a T4 Surfer, that he was going to probably be the mid-month. And I think, you know, I haven't found anywhere in the trailer to necessarily confirm that we're getting a T4. Like, I've been looking for little, you know, T's and 4s and things inside of here, but realistically, I can't find it. So if another content creator is able to find it, cool. I can't, but let's take a look at it over here. So basically, this is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. Certain text has been fixed on Sunday, and then you can see this supervillain who was once a messenger of Galactus has been invited to join the Annihilators after a battle against the symbiote god. Check out the new look and abilities of this supervillain, who is now along with the universe's heaviest hitters. We'll announce more information through patch details later. So unfortunately, no Nova. I kind of knew that once we didn't get an update on Thursday of last week, and then we didn't see anything on Friday as well. I knew they were just going to wait till today to basically do this. But here we go. So we're basically getting Silver Surfer. This was one of the reasons why I told you guys I was avoiding tier 4ing Gladiator and Beta Ray Bill, because I knew that we're probably more than likely going to see Surfer inside the mid-month, and that's where we're at with this. So interestingly enough, right, is that this throws off the continuity of the game, but we'll talk about this here in a second. So let's look at this. All right, so over on the Twitter sphere, we see the legendary Silver Surfer returns to Marvel Future Fight, though with the touch of something dark. And then here goes a picture for those of you unaware as to what this character is or what he looks like. This is it right here. This is the Void Knight Surfer, and I'll explain a little bit more in detail what that is. And over here, I wanted to pull this up so you guys can see over on Marvel Strike Force. Basically in January, they were getting their symbiote invasion, and they had their own version of the Void Knight inside of there. So you can see Silver Surfer's bonded with the symbiotes, and that's basically what you got. And you get a little bit of tidbit that they basically produce inside here, which I like. Thank you very much, Marvel Strike Force, as much as I hate you in terms of games. But essentially what happened in the comics was that Silver Surfer was battling you know, some, you know, cosmic enemies and stuff like that, and he got displaced in time. He got pushed all the way back to like the beginning of time, and basically at the beginning of time he met Null. Null beat his ass, like, you know, just put him down, and this allowed the Void Knight to bond with Silver Surfer. So a symbiote basically bonded, and they created the Void Knight. Silver Surfer then became the Void Knight Silver Surfer, and Ego, the living planet being there at the time, basically fired off a energy beam or attack on Surfer and unbonded him from the surfboard and the symbiote, which then is how we get to the Surfer that we know and love today inside of Marvel Future Fight. I don't know if we love him anymore. You know, he's kind of neat, has been due for an update, and where we get the Black Rider. So we get the Black Surfer that we have currently in Marvel Future Fight. Now, the way Marvel Future Fight is pushing this is as if though, you know, the Silver Surfer was being asked to join the Annihilators after those events, but that's not true. The Surfer's joining of the Annihilators was before those events. So they're seemingly on their own separate timeline in terms of the way they're viewing cosmic, you know, comic canon type events. The Surfer was not part of, I'm having the biggest troubles with Marvel Future Fight as of late. The Surfer wasn't bonded with these characters prior to then. So they're like leaning on this doesn't really make sense. So let's take a look at the Silver Surfer that we actually know today. So essentially, you know, I expected that we were going to see some incarnation of those 6 characters. Highly disappointed that we don't see Nova. And again, we miss out on another opportunity to give us Cosmo in the game. Like, I would have really enjoyed seeing Cosmo in the game, but he's not here. So you can see this is Silver Surfer Black. And so At the time, he was a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, because this is all post events of the symbiote invasion. Essentially, when he basically goes and meets Null at the beginning of the time, it's at one of those points where Silver Surfer is not serving as the Herald of Galactus, and he basically gets into that battle, and emerging from that symbiote, the symbiosis that's happening between the symbiote and himself, is what we get for Silver Surfer Black. This would realistically be considered probably the penultimate of his power, or like, I don't know how to say that, or this would be the zenith of Surfer's power. So I'm very interested to see how they are going to push the Void Knight Surfer in terms of, you know, that being his T4 representation, when realistically this form is presumably more powerful than the Silver Surfer Black form. Now, I would have much rather had preferred that we saw this Silver Surfer make a return to his, you know, normal silver version, and they had just upgraded or did something to this to, you know, change. But I get it. I guess I kind of understand. You have to present something to the player base, so that way it's not just feeling like, you know, you're just trying to rob them blind, especially with a T2, the way Silver Surfer is. But that's essentially what we've got. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the skills and abilities that they will give this Silver Surfer, the new Silver Surfer, Void Knight Surfer, basically inside the game, to basically see what he can do. You know, am I excited about Void Knight Surfer? Sure. Am I a little upset as a nerd about, you know, Marvel Future Fight devs mixing up the timeline of the Surfer's appearances? Sure. It's one of those things that kind of pisses me off, just because of the fact that, like, Marvel Future Fight devs have seemed to be like very especially in the past 2 years, very discombobulated in the way they miss out on opportunities to present certain characters and pieces when they could, and, you know, having like some type of consistency in terms of mid-month to early month updates. You're not really surprising anybody, not in this day and age anyway. So I don't get the whole notion of like, hey, I'm going to prevent you use symbiote invasion, but in the mid-month I'm going to give you a whole different timeline of characters and miss out on the opportunity to present characters. Sort of like this update for me, where it's like one of those opportunities, like I feel like this would be the perfect time to basically introduce Nova and give him an update because of his tie to the Annihilators. It would also probably really be great if they were to introduce like a character like Cosmo basically inside the game, or they could even introduce like a Nihilus at this point and stick to something thematic and not miss out on an opportunity, which is what I feel like they're potentially doing with Nova. A little disappointed at that, but at the same time happy. So I saved up all my resources because I thought that this was going to come. I'm pretty sure Silver Surfer will be getting a T4 and not just a uniform. If they realistically just released a uniform for Surfer and he stayed at T3, I'd be surprised. But you notice in the patch notes, it also said update details later. So there's no additional information to come. We're basically getting Ronin and Surfer, which realistically does complete the composition of the Annihilators team. So I can't be too mad. I would have just liked to see maybe those tangentials in terms of Nova and Cosmo also be pushed into the update. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace.